Good guys, it's Ron's Rides, and you are looking at the infamous 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio with 50,000 miles on it. This was the first Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio at this dealership at Alfa Romeo Daytona Beach, and it's back and it's here for service, as you could guess. It is doing its 50,000 mile service. So what I'm going to tell you is how much that costs and what that 50,000 mile service entails. So you kind of know. Now it's different between each dealership. Labor hours are different depending on which dealerships you're at. If you're in an Alfa dealership, if you're in an Alfa Mazzi, if you're in a Ferrari Alfa, Ferrari Mazzi, stuff like that. It's different where you take it depending on the labor for these vehicles. So this is the specific vehicle that I went for a test drive in with the owner of the dealership. They took me in this vehicle and he gave me a test drive, and I got the thrill of my life in this thing. So this one has actually been bought, as you can tell, and the owner, I put the plate or the paper there to protect the license plate, drives the crap out of this, as you can see. 50,000 miles on it. It's really 45,500 miles, but it's at that 50,000 mile service. Let's step inside of the car and you'll see after 50,000 miles how well it lasts and how everything holds up. Now, most leather is gonna have its wear and tear in it, and there's no difference with this here. It's just a little worn, as you can see. You can see it's been used. You know, that happens. The Alcantara has been very, very well preserved, and with this is, you know, the most use you'll get when you put your back on it here in the front seat in the driver's side. It looks pretty good for it being, you know, daily use for 50,000 miles. So as you can see, there's not really much wear and tear. Obviously, like I said, you're gonna get your cracks in the leather, and you're gonna see, you know, your wear there, and see that it's been used and it's been put through its paces. The steering wheel, another place where you put your hands a lot, well, you can kind of tell the Alcantara hasn't lasted as well there. That's where you're gonna have a lot of the sweat and, you know, grease and oil particles in your hands, and it's going to kind of wear at the material of the Alcantara there. So it's not as soft anymore. It almost looks leather as far as, you know, the material and the finish, but it is Alcantara. But you can see how it's kind of getting old and crackling a little bit. That's why I'm not a biggest fan of Alcantara on steering wheels, because it goes through that kind of, you know, just damage after time. Now, some of you people might not care about that.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Hey, it's a car, it's meant to be driven. Just showing you what it looks like. Now, as far as the rest of the interior goes, I mean, besides it being a little bit dirty and a little bit scuffed up a little bit in places, I mean, it really held up pretty nicely. You do have the leather on the top half of the door here with the carbon fiber and aluminum. You also have the leather here on the switch section of the door where you were to grab and pull in. And when you use this, the most of this section, use this and this here, everything seems to have been held up pretty well for that wear and tear process. The dash and everything else, as far as the carbon trim, and on the same side here, the door, pretty good. It's the same in the center here. Carbon does scratch a little bit, so you'll see a few wear and tear pieces here, and I'm not sure how well that's gonna pick up on the camera. You know, just things that are gonna get dinged up a little bit, but it's a car, you're gonna use it, you're gonna hit stuff. I mean, that's just, it just happens. But everything else, the carpets and the other side of the Alcantara on the seats and the leather look pretty good here. So you can see that it does hold up very well. But let's get into the real reason why you're here. So let's talk about the Quadrifoglio. Normally the base price will be around 73,000 US dollars. It's about 182 inches in length, 73 inches in width, and 56 inches in height. The wheelbase is about 110 inches, and with that, your trunk is about 13 cubic feet. So, the engine, that's what we really want to talk about, right? Twin turbocharged, V6, 24 valve, 176 cubic inches, 2,891 cc's, 505 horsepower at 6,500 RPMs. You're looking at about a red line at 7,000 RPMs and 7,250. All right, 8-speed automatic ZF transmission, and your top speed being 191 miles per hour with a 0 to 60 at 3.7 seconds. Not bad, right? So the real reason you're here is to see what the 50,000 mile service would cost. like I said, this varies between dealerships. So I'm gonna give you what this car's 50,000 mile service just cost this customer. It may be different depending on the things you do, the way you drive the car, what needs replacing, etc. Now we know that on the 3rd year service, there is a belt job that Alfa Romeo wants you to do for the belt, and it's an 8-hour process. And it's a pretty chunky price, about $2,000. I made a video on that, so I will link the video to that, so you'll see the specifics on that. But about $2,000. Well, the price for the 50,000 mile service comes to $2,154.47 US. Now that's this specific vehicle. As I said, again, I want to make sure I state that properly. The labor is $430.95. Okay, the miscellaneous charges, which includes shop supplies and tire tax, is $36.97, and your total tax is $131.50. So that is what you're looking at for your 50,000 mile service on the Giulia Quadrifoglio. Now here is what is done. Now you guys must think, oh my God, that's a crazy price. What the heck has been done to this car to where it needs that much maintenance? If you just did a 3rd service, you know, that is $2,000 belt job, what the heck am I paying $2,000 for? Well, that's this particular vehicle. It had its tires changed. That is one of the biggest things as far as price goes. These are Pirelli P0 Corsa tires, so these are going to cost you a little bit to get replaced. So I'm going to break it down for you, but I'm going to let you know that's a major chunk of the price. So what you're looking at maintenance wise, you're getting done an air filter, a cabin filter, another filter, and oil. Okay, so all of that for the cabin filter and oil change and everything is $432.43. Okay, that makes sense, right? But then when you're talking about tires, you're getting the tires, balance, alignment, everything that far, you're looking at $1,500.20 or $1,512.20 for these P0 Corsa tires. So if you are really putting the hurting on your tires, you know, it costs money to replace them. If I got my tires replaced, not at dealership cost, it cost me $1,600 for my Pirellis that I got done. So that's a real cost, something you have to keep in mind for these cars. That is going to be a majority of your price. So you might not have to do that at your 50,000 mile service. Chances are you might have to do it. So you always plan for something like that. You have another thing that got done, and it might not apply to you. $41.37. Okay, so in all reality, if you don't need to get your wiper blades changed and you don't need to get tires, you're only looking at about $432 for your oil change and your filter changes for this service. But you guys got to think about it. If you haven't had these things done, or it's around that time that you need to get these things done, by the time you get to 50,000 miles, it will probably be more of a you must have it done rather than, oh, I'll wait till next time. You gotta think, 50,000 miles with the same tires is just insane. So obviously you've probably changed your tires before that. 50,000 miles with the same wiper blades, you probably should change those. It's stuff that may not apply to you at this exact moment when you're getting this service done, but you'll do it within the life of the vehicle, the life of you owning the vehicle. So I'm just gonna step inside of here so I can show you guys the actual mileage of the vehicle. All right, so now you guys can see that is the actual mileage of the car. 49,551 miles on this vehicle. I applaud the owner of this vehicle who drives this daily, comes in, gets it serviced how they should, and gets right back in it and rips it up. That is amazing. Love this car, love this spec. I just needed to inform you guys on what it would cost to do something like this, and that's at our dealership, so you kind of know. $432 for your 50,000 mile service. If you want to do tires, if you want to stick with the Pirelli P0 Corsa, if you want to change your wiper blades, then you're looking at that 2,100 mark. But fair share, fair deal for what you're getting. Like I said, it's the same for Maserati side. as far as your oil changes and tires goes. Just a little difference between a few things, but that's it, guys. Now, as stupid as that looks, hopefully you guys enjoy looking at this beautiful spec. The first Quadrifoglio to come to this dealership and the first one to get sold. Back full circle, getting the service done, and I want to let you guys know what the service price was. So any Quadrifoglio owners, if you've gotten service done and yours isn't the same, I'd love for you to comment down below what you paid for your service and what exactly you got done and how much it cost, just to inform anyone else who is curious on what it would cost to get this stuff done for when they get into one of these vehicles themselves and they want to know what they need to have set aside for wear and tear maintenance. Now, this is not warranty maintenance, it's wear and tear maintenance, you know, so this is not stuff that's breaking down, this should be lasting. This is how you maintain a vehicle. It's one thing to be able to purchase or buy a vehicle, it's another thing to be able to own it. So remember that. I'm gonna leave you guys with that. This has been Ron's Rides. Like the video if you learned something today. Like the video and share it if this is going to get out there and help someone else out, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help others out. And definitely comment down below, what do you guys think? Reasonable price, or should be lower, or you think it would be higher, or did you pay for your maintenance for this car and it was a lot higher or lower? I'm curious. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, check out the social media. We'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Hey.